Welcome into the CHGO White Sox podcast, coming to you live from Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him at Eckerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer, will be joining us later on in the show. And diehards, you can go check out his latest newsletter, the White Sox Weekly, over at allchgo.com. Plus, we also want to give a shout out to our new diehards, not opening tavern style in Slack. We want to be welcoming William, Robert, Kyle, John, Andrew, Ray, Mike, Keith, Michael, Daniel, Mike, Eric, Jack, Nathan, Mike, Philip, Paul, Ryan, and Austin. So thank you to the 4 Mikes, the 1 Michael, and everyone else for becoming a diehard. And that's mainly just because we were live the second that Justin Fields trade happened.
Yeah, we were. We're the only people that were live, giving you the information that you need on everything White Sox, Bears, Bulls, Hawks, Cubs, and more. So become a diehard today so you never miss any of our live shows or any of our emergency podcasts like we've done last week with us when Dylan Cease got traded, or when the Bears went on live on a Saturday when no one else did.
And honestly, if the White Sox news that happened today, that is our headline, happened on like Saturday,
oh yeah,
we would have been doing an emergency podcast because Herb and I think would have been exploding to talk about it. And that's my one issue, because if I was sitting there on a Saturday and I was running, CBS Sports at 670 The Score, I would have been so. I don't even know if it was CBS Sports. It could have been live. It could have been the Bulls. Well, no, I don't know. It could have been Bulls.
It was an afternoon.
Chuck Swirsky. Yeah. I'm not sure, but I would have just been pissed off because it's like, all right, no one's around, but I could produce a show by myself. Let me just go talk about it. That's why we love this idea of CHGO Sports, because we can be there for our fans, and we're excited for that. So hopefully, if you're not a diehard yet, you sign up to become a diehard. If you're not subscribed, you are subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel, and make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. It's good to see 2 new names, too, in the chat. Rolando and Gerald. So what's up, Gerald? I don't think I've ever seen the name Gerald in my life.
I might be Jarrell.
You think so?
Yeah.
Jarrell.
Yeah.
Jarrell McDonald.
Yeah.
Gerald McDonald.
There you go. Rolando and Jarrell?
Yes. Yes. Welcome in. It's good to see Luke, Justin, and White Sox Tom, too. Excited to talk about Garrett Crochet being named the opening day starter for the Chicago White Sox. We will also be talking about Reynaldo Lopez being named the 5th starter for the Atlanta Braves. I know it's not exactly White Sox, but I got some thoughts. And then finally, we'll welcome in Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer, for his reaction to Garrett Crochet, and then to talk about Mailbag Monday, where we got some questions from our Discord members, our diehards, and the Discord was a-buzzing.
Oh, my goodness.
When this happened. We were in a CHGO all-staff meeting, and then I checked my phone because I have ADHD, and then I forget who exactly. It is a diehard. Let me make sure I give him a shout-out now that I think of it. I'll even stop the show.
Probably Husky Bardo. He's
always.
No,
it wasn't Husky Bardo.
It wasn't? Wow.
No.
That's an upset right there.
Right? Well, he was the first person to share it in the Discord. But, oh, my God.
It's all good. We're just chilling right now. We got our guy KPW
this is why,
and other Sean in the house. It's so...
Mary, at Coach Neb. Hey, at Sean Anderson, you okay after the Crochet announcement? # White Sox. And that just kind of made me sick, because it's like, what Crochet announcement? Because my thought's either he's the opening day starter, he is a starter, or he's dead. Right? There's no inkling. It's not positive or negative. It's just the announcement.
Let me just tell you, if somebody was said that to me about what do you think about the Crochet news, the last thing I would have thought of is him being named the opening day starter. Multiple reasons, but this today was just mind-blowing that the White Sox are doing this. On one hand, I say to the White Sox all the time, with the Project Birmingham thing, you should do more things that are experimental. You should do things that are more outside the box. And then I'm looking at this Garrett Crochet being an opening day starter. I'm like, not that at all. I'm kind of flummoxed and flabbergasted that the White Sox, it's both a bold and kind of foolish move by the White Sox to do such a thing, to have a person that has never started a game in his professional career to not only be part of the starting rotation on opening day to be the opening day starter.
Yes.
And he hasn't pitched 100 total. Well, he's pitched just over 100 total innings in his major league career. That is flabbergasting.
Well, no. Like, he's pitched, if you combine his minor league, his spring training, his postseason, the 2 outs he got there, and his regular season, 108 innings. He's not over 75 major league innings. That's even including the 2 outs he got in the postseason. 2 strikeouts, by the way.
It's a bold move where, and a team where you lost 101 games, I guess you're afforded to make this bold move, but also in my mind right now, I don't think he's going to get close to 100 innings in this year. So for him to be named the opening day starter, which denotes to me usually that's the best starter on your roster, right? Mm-hmm. He's never done it. So how could he be the best starter on your roster when he's never literally done it as a professional? That to me is one of the weirdest things in the world, but it makes this season much more interesting in my view because they're just going to try things out this year and say, see if it works.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of surprising because we started talking about this back in November. I was looking back for the Reynaldo Lopez stuff because they signed on the 20th of November. Mm-hmm. And then on the 22nd of November, I was like, oh, maybe I shared some Reynaldo Lopez stats there. And the title was, will White Sox use Garrett Crochet as a starter or reliever in 2024? And I think then we laughed at it. But you brought up the point like, hey, if you're going to be bad, why not use this, right? And OIF3 Gunner brings up, will he throw 60 innings? Because he commented, he was all mad at me because I was being upset at Crochet because, Kopech won't be a starter, but Crochet will be. Yep. And, again, Crochet has never thrown more than 60 innings in a season. And my thought was just with Kopech, again, if you're going to fail, why not just let Kopech fail? If you're going to be bad, why not Kopech just, if maybe he'll fail, maybe he won't. You have the opportunity to afford that loss. Same thing with Crochet. I think AJ put it best in the Discord. I don't know if I said it on the show, but I had the thought before. Like, if Crochet is going to pitch, it seems like their thought was, he might not have an innings limit, according to him. Mm-hmm. He said that apparently they're outdated. But I think the White Sox think, we're going to get, hopefully, 100 innings out of Garrett Crochet this year. If we're going to get 100 innings out of Garrett Crochet this year, let's have them be 100 major league innings. Mm-hmm. So him being a starter, it will look interesting. I don't think that you could throw him out there for 20 starts, right? Because if he's going to just be a normal starter that you're not going to manage, let's say he just goes 6 innings, right? He can't pitch 120 innings. So is he going to be a guy that goes through the order the first time, and hopefully he's just having a clean bill of health and going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 each time? It's going to be very interesting to see this plan fleshed out because as Vinny and as you and I have noted on this show, they've been very tight-lipped about the plan. There's a plan for Garrett Crochet. We don't know what the plan is, but there is a plan. And apparently, he's going to be the opening day starter. Let's go.
It would make more sense if he was the 5th starter in this rotation because then you can just skip him every once in a while. Like, you're as the opening day starter, first start is versus the Detroit Tigers on the 28th. The second start is versus the Atlanta Braves at home the next week. So, unless the White Sox are running out a plan that is, hey, Garrett Crochet starts a start and then we skip him a start, it just doesn't make sense to name him as the guy in front. I don't know how those veterans are taking it, how the Fetties, the Sorokas, who've actually started Major League games to varying degrees of success or not, but they've started games. You can say, hey, if everybody would have named Eric Fetty, or if they would name Eric Fetty the opening starter, be like, hey, deserved. Same thing with Michael Soroka, deserved, because of the spring stats and because of the history they both have had, both Fetty last year as the KBO Cy Young MVP and Soroka with his success versus the Braves or with the Braves back in the day before he got hurt. But this is just flummoxing. I don't know the real reason yet because they're still playing a game, so they haven't spoke, I don't think, to the media as yet. to explain themselves, because yesterday Pedro was like all this subterfuge. Well, I know who the opening day starter is, and just like all being secretive. Yeah, I know why you're being secretive, because you don't want to have to answer to what this is. And Garrett Crochet might go out and be the guy, but also if he goes over 100 innings, I would be absolutely shocked this year as a starter and pitches 100 starter innings in the major leagues when he's not done that in his professional career.
Right. And hopefully they have a plan that will manage him properly. I'm not against him going out there and throwing 100 innings. If he could do it, more power to him. If inning limits are outdated and you can work through it and you're a powerful, mean machine, let's go. If you're going to be fucking Randy Johnson, go be Randy Johnson. Why not? I'm not going to be mad at it. Let's go. They used a first-round pick with him. I just want them to not ruin him.
Yeah.
But he was selected in 2020, one of the weirdest drafts in Major League history. He was phenomenal in 2020, but we only saw about 7 innings from him. We saw a great 2021 where we saw 60 innings, but still he wasn't able to stay fully healthy. Then we saw, no innings because he missed the year, and then 12 innings, right, last year, and now he's a starter that's going to throw 100 innings. Like, it's just a crazy jump. I don't know if you could ruin him just because I don't know if there was anything to ruin. It seems like he is an athlete, and he's a lottery ticket. And it really does feel like he's either going to nail this assignment or he's going to flop completely.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't trust the White Sox to go on this assignment.
I mean, you gave me the information that Sarah Langs put out there. The last starter to do this was Tanner Scheppers.
Yes.
For the Texas Rangers. Go and look at Tanner Scheppers' numbers. The last guy who had his first major league start on opening day. Not good. The guy before that was pretty good, Fernando Valenzuela.
Yeah.
But there's only been 9 in the history of major leagues. 9. And I think Peyton put it up there. 1901 was the last time the White Sox themselves did this. And so there's a reason why it's unprecedented. There's a reason why people don't do this. Because it's dangerous. Because it's hard to the pitcher's arm. And if he doesn't believe in innings limits and stuff, I guarantee his body will, because this is a new thing that he's never done before. And ask any starter, that season is a taxing thing. He might feel great right now, and they might be looking at his pitches. He's pitched 9 innings in the major leagues in spring training. He's looking flawless in spring training. Might feel good after those starts, but the season is a grind, and I couldn't imagine him pitching 20-plus starts and then not feeling some sort of way. If he is that, he's Superman.
Right.
He is an absolute giant of a man that can't be stopped.
Well, and the guy that did it before Tanner Scheppers, 1981, Fernando Valenzuela, pretty decent, right? And there's another guy on here, 1925, old Lefty Grove, who's a Hall of Famer. 1944 was Preacher Rowe, who was a 5-time All-Star. 1943, Al Gerhauser. 1939, Red Evans. 1938, Jim Bagby. And 1920, Eddie Ears. Thank you to Sarah Langs for that. We're going to take a break, and we're going to let you know about some of our fantastic ad sponsors. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about Garrett Crochet, because I got some thoughts. We got some also data, too, for how he's been looking, because he's been dominant in spring training. So let's put some stats, at least what we have, to Garrett Crochet's dominance. But are you in the market for a new vehicle? If you are, we have some great news for you. Our partners at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Fox Lake is celebrating the Jeep Celebration event all month long. And do you know what that means, Herb?
I don't.
You'll be able to rave about their savings on a wide selection of inventory. For a limited time, lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo Altitude for $439 a month for 39 months. And if that Grand Cherokee isn't big enough, check out the third row and lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited L for $479 a month for 39 months. At Ray CDJR, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventories and drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect, thanks to Ray's Price Promise. And don't miss out. Shop great deals all month long and save big, because Ray CDJR makes buying a new vehicle more affordable than ever. But that's not all. Just for listening, you can get a free oil change when you mention CHGO at the service center. Mention CHGO when you book online at raycdjr/service. but you have to schedule it before April 1st. So if you are in the new market for a new vehicle or you want a free oil change, check out our friends over at Ray, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
And at Game Time, they believe that you shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, theater events near you. And with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. If you haven't been here before, I've talked about my experience down in Atlanta. I went to Truist Park to go and see a game with the Braves playing, and so I bought tickets on Game Time, and then I wanted to check out their Game Time guarantee and see if it was the real deal. So I went to all the rest of the secondary marketplaces and checked to see if there was a lower price in the section and row that I was sitting. One of them did have it, so I sent this information to Game Time, and within 12 minutes of me sending this information, I had 110% of the difference in my account already. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, which is very important to me, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. If you guys have been to Wrigley Field, you know you need to check out your view before you get there. And all-in prices show you the total up front, so you know you're getting a great deal without any of the hidden fees. You can buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. And Game Time has deals right up to the start of the event, and even an hour after the event starts. It's the place to be for last-minute seats. And find exclusive flash deals and sponsor deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. And with zone deals, you pick the section, and Game Time picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. And as I told you before, the Game Time guarantees means you can buy your tickets with confidence. You find some tickets in the same row or section on another site, Game Time will give you 110% of that difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
So, Herb.
Yes.
Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
He's going to be doing this on opening day? Where are we going to be on opening day?
You know where we're going to be? We're going to be.
I don't. That's why I'm asking. Where are we going to be on opening day? We're going to be at
Ballpark Pub. It's on 514 West Pershing, 39th Street.
Yes.
Right there in Bridgeport, down like 4 blocks away from the ballpark. Great food. Great Kugel specials. We'll be there at noon for a show. Noon until the game ends. So if you want to,
we got to go to work.
Yeah, until we got to go work. So if you want to be in the area but don't want to give Jerry some money, come and party with us, as we see on there. Go to allchgo.com. We have the link there, so you can tell us to RSVP, so we can tell the people how many people we have there. We don't want to inundate them with a bunch of people, so go to allchgo.com, RSVP today. My guy Brandon Stokes already did it. He's going to be there.
Stokes is going to be there?
Yeah, Stokes is going to be in there.
Noah Schultz scout?
My man.
The only person in America who knew about Noah Schultz?
Before everybody else. Yes, Stokes is going to be there March 28th, Ballpark Pub, noon until we leave. And then we got a post-game show after the game ends, but we'll be back here. But come party with us, get some Kugel, enjoy us at Ballpark Pub, March 28th, noon.
And come and, celebrate with us when Garrett Crochet is pumping, 101 on his first pitch?
Garrett Crochet, Tariq's
drooling over the Kugel specials and Garrett Crochet's fastball velocity.
Hey. No one's going to say this season is going to be boring. It's going to be exciting to cover a team that is probably going to be bad. But Pedro and the boys are making it exciting every single day with their news every single day. Oh, my God, Garrett Crochet is the opening day starter. Like, take us back in a time machine that November day when we're laughing at Garrett Crochet starting
literally
the year after. He's not only just starting, he's gonna be the opening day starter. Oh,
Do you feel like it's wrong? Yes or no?
Yes.
Or you feel like it's the wrong move, or do you feel like it's interesting?
I think it's
Is it the wrong move for a team that is this bad?
Yes, it is the wrong move. Period. Being in the starting rotation, I wouldn't mind, but they haven't really stretched him out. What is he thrown 3 innings at most in spring training so far?
But why does it matter that it's opening day? So to answer Blank Name's question, sorry, because you mentioned the 3 innings at a time. His first spring training start was an inning and 2/3. Then on March 3rd, he pitched 2 innings. Then on March 9th, he pitched 2 1/3 innings. And then on March 14th, he threw 3 innings. And the one thing that's unfortunate with MLB is not all these games are broadcasted and not all these stats are accurate. He did not throw 12 pitches in that first game. He did not throw 13 in the other game, or 18 or 17. We don't have an actual accurate number of the amount of pitches that he's throwing. I would say that he probably's capped at about 60. I think that he could probably throw 60 innings, and it's all about how they manage him in my mind, because, maybe he's not going to be a starter, but we saw opener galore in San Francisco when it was the Brian Bannister show. So, I mean, what if, they just skip him a day and give him 5 days of rest and, hey, go throw 60 pitches? You think it's a bad move?
Yeah, I don't know why you have to give the ceremonial first day, the opening day starter, to him, because think if he does throw 60 pitches and gets through 3 or 4 innings, you're taxing the bullpen already. The first game versus the Detroit Tigers. I know you have a day off the next day, the Friday, but you're taxing the bullpen on the first day for no reason at all. Give me a pitcher that is more solid and knows what he's doing, knows the routine of starting a game. Because it's not only the pressure of being your first start, but it's also you knowing and understanding what you do, what your role is. How do you get ready to start a game? And you're going to have that thrust upon this young man at the beginning of the season, and say he gets torched by the Detroit Tigers, and that's a viable thing. Your gut confidence is down, and now his next start is possibly the Atlanta Braves. Mercy. It's like, I don't know what went into the thinking here, and we'll hear from Pedro, and we'll have that information probably tomorrow for tomorrow's show at 5 o'clock. But if he's just an opener, you could do this as the 5th starter. You could do this as another starter. But to have the opening day ceremony, him being the guy, I'm excited to watch.
There's a stat that he's the longest tenure pitcher. He is, though. Like, I think Kopech, I think, is longer tenure, but he's not a starter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, Kopech, I think, is the longest tenured pitcher, and then it's Crochet. So why is it a cost station? I mean, let's go. Let's fucking go. I mean, as long as they don't F it up completely, as long as they have an actual plan. The most pitches he's ever thrown in a major league game is 46. He did that twice, 1 2/3 innings in 2023 on what is this, May 28th against Detroit, and then 46 pitches on the 21st, April 25th. He threw 46 pitches and went 3 innings. So he does have a major league outing where he went 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout against the Texas Rangers, but no runs. And that's the thing is, I mean, if you take all of the stats that even might be spring training or minor league, 108 1/3 innings for Garrett Crochet. He's only allowed 4 home runs, 139 strikeouts, a 2.58 ERA, and a 1.24 whip. If we know that his fastball velocity is there, and what we've seen so far is around 97 to 99, if his fastball velocity is there, we know that he can be extremely effective.
Okay.
As long as the White Sox can manage him for those 5 days, those 4 days, and keep that fastball velocity up, he's going to be a dominant pitcher.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be pretty good.
This is the thing, though.
I get it. I get it. It's wacky. I get it. It's weird. It's the 2024 White Sox where Paul DeYoung's the starting shortstop.
So, so officially,
whatever.
You're like, hey, it was kind of surprising, but you think this is all right move by the White Sox to make him the opening day starter because he could turn into gold.
I think it's surprising, but if he's going to be a starter, I don't really care if he's the 1st or 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what their plan is, so I'm interested to see what their plan is. Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting, and I'm all for interesting things. Mm-hmm. We'll talk a little bit later about Michael Soroka, and I think he's extremely interesting, so we'll talk about, maybe that angle. But like Crochet, Kopech, and Soroka are really the only interesting things. I don't even want to get attached to Fetty too much, because if he has a good year and is looking dominant by July, people are going to be coming calling and just being like, hey, Eric Fetty, what do you want for him? A couple prospects? 2 or 3 prospects?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that it's crazy to have it be Garrett Crochet. Why not? Michael Kopech was the home opener last year.
The why not is fine. But, but that was after 4 games in Houston. and he was the 5th starter. But yeah, I am just and Iron Touch 20 says they don't have an established starter. I push back a little bit on that. Eric Fetty, while didn't pitch in the major leagues last year, pitched 100 almost 200 innings in Korea.
Soroka is a starter.
Yeah,
too.
Soroka's a starter.
Hasn't been healthy.
Flexen's been both a starter and reliever. So yeah, I think there are established starters on the roster. But to give this guy the opening day nod is ludicrous, but I'm all for it as far as a entertainment thing because like Sean says, the fastball plays, the slider plays, the cutter he's establishing might play. I'm just interested to see what happens in June where he's thrown a lot of innings already and the sun's on him and he's beaten down. Is he still throwing 95 plus? Is he still commanding that fastball or is he getting tired as a regular person? As you said, he's only thrown 40 some innings in a major league season as a high. And then that'll be he'll be breaking records this year. And will his body respond properly to it? And I just don't want the White Sox to injure and to derail this player because they see something in him and they're making a big, tall task for this player to do from going from a reliever that barely played last year to the opening day starter and asking innings out of him.
But to be fair, he's gotten derailed basically every time he's pitched. He didn't pitch in 2022. He everyone saw, as you can know about the pandemic, everyone faced roadblocks in 2020, and he only placed 6 innings, and then 2023 faced. 2021 was the only clean season he had, and it was only 54 pitches, and he's only 24. He's not even 25 yet.
Nope.
So
until June.
Why not? Maybe this is the biggest he's ever been. Maybe this is the healthiest his body has ever been. Hopefully, the White Sox have put him in a situation to succeed. I would love to see that because, hey, maybe the new people here in the White Sox are actually doing their jobs, and maybe we can actually start trusting Brian Bannister and Chris Getz. This is going to be their most important project. I thought it was going to be Michael Kopech, but apparently, hey, it's Garrett Crochet being a starter. And again, I think it's fair. Just why would you bury him in AAA? If after the way that he's been dominant over these 9 innings where he hasn't allowed a run, 9 hits, but 12 strikeouts, he has been showing the fastball velocity, consistency. Why bury him? I do want to give just some stats from Lance Berstowski. I don't know where he's getting this. They're non-StatCast nuggets, I guess, but he's got some data on Garrett Crochet. I guess he's got some person that's hiding out at Camelback Ranch and just noting every single mile velocity. But so far, Crochet flashed a new cutter. He's not throwing it much, though, and this was only through 2 spring training outings. Crochet has thrown 53 pitches, 47 of which has been his fastball and slider. His slider looks the same as last year. His fastball velocity is up from 96.3 to 98.7 with a similar shape. Fangraph Stuff Plus had the 4-seamer at 104 last year. Should be plus 110 if the velo sticks. Again, that's why we were so excited about Cease and Michael Kopech, just because they were plus 116 and plus 115. So they had dominant fastballs. And he's only thrown 2 cutters, at least through those first 2 outings, according to Lance, both in the zone and both with fantastic shapes that compared to Jose Alvarado's cutter shape, which was 107 Stuff Plus. And people talk about just the crazy slider from him because of the depth that he gets from the height that he releases it, because he's just a tall-ass MFer. He might have 3+ pitches, and the changeup might be all right. I honestly don't think that we've seen enough from him. So if he's getting 60 pitches where he's got that full stamina bar, if we're playing MLB The Show, he's got a full green bar, he might dominate.
I mean, yeah.
Why not? Let's go.
I'm not worried about him actually dominating the batters he goes against. I'm worried about how he adjusts when he doesn't have that, when he's not at full stamina bar, which is a starter's life, where you got to pitch with B+ stuff or C- stuff. Yeah, it's good to have this on the major league stage than the minor league stage, but I think you can have some more instruction, some more development in the minor leagues without the pressure of Major League Baseball games, and success too, because they're lesser players. So you have the confidence of, hey, I've gotten this pitch across versus this batter in AAA. Let me send to the major leagues now and try that same pitch. And when it's the 80th pitch, when I don't have enough energy, what do I do? How do I get past this? It's good to learn. He's going to learn on the major league level. I would have rather had him, ramp up on the AAA level. But hell, they're just saying throw him to the fire right now.
The minor league staff doesn't have the major league staff. I think that's the reason why. Like, let's give him all the major league help, because he can get major league batters out. I mean, over the 73 innings, not even 75, he's got a 2.71 ERA. It's not an issue of getting the major league batters out. So let's just keep him healthy at a major league level. And as long as they have an accurate plan and they're able to, have a major league plan for him, I don't think it's the worst thing. He'll have the best framers in the system. Martin Maldonado and Max Stassi are probably the best framers in the White Sox system. So, hey, give him the best opportunities to get guys out. We'll see what happens. You're right about the stuff maybe not being ready. Oh, what's up, Jake? Drinking a Liney. We'll take a break and let him know about Liney. Is that a code that we should break and talk about Leinenkugel? All right. Anyways, we'll talk more about Garrett Crochet. Vinny's going to join us in just a second. Let's let you know about our friends over at Prize Picks. Our friends at Prize Picks are the largest daily fantasy sports the daily fantasy sports platform in North America. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. It's very easy to make an entry in under 60 seconds. I made a quick entry, and they had a promotional prop, I guess it would be. Caitlin Clark against her first matchup on Saturday to score half a point. So I took more than. I think with the number being cut from 31.5 to a half, I'll take more on that one.
Bravery over there.
And then I took less than on Terrence Shannon Jr. I think they'll 24.5. Well, hold on. I didn't say they're going to lose the game, Cody. I just 24.5 is a lot. But use your knowledge and have some fun this tournament season. Football season may be over, but the action on the floor is heating up. Whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of year. Get on the excitement with Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app, where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Conference tournaments are here, which means the biggest moments in college basketball are getting closer. Be a part of the action on Prize Picks for both men's and women's college basketball, and you can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with NBA, NHL, and college basketball entries today on Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CHGO to sign up today and use code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And hi, Vinnie Duber. How are you?
Hello there, fellas. How are we today?
I was reading, I'm very good. It's very good to see your face. I was reading today that telecommunications, the how you were seeing you today, was actually a Wisconsin innovation. Did you know that?
I do now, Sean.
I made it
because,
up.
boy, that Wisconsin innovation, it's so great. Man, you're leading folks astray. Here I am always trying to tell them about the great things that come from Wisconsin, like the cheese curd and the indoor water park and Leinenkugel's beer, and you're just throwing a wrench into the works, which is not pleased. But, boy, how about that shandy that you guys got sitting there on set? That looks pretty nice, doesn't it? I kind of want one. Can you pour one through the screen for me? Crack one open and pour it through the screen? You don't actually have to do that because then you'll have to drink it. Go, yum. Wisconsin innovation. It is shandy season, fellas, and so whether you're going over by the lake, whether you're going down for a tailgate by the ballpark, whether you're going up to Wisconsin for a canoe ride, or whether you're just hanging out in the burbs like I am today, it's always a great time for a summer shandy. If you would prefer to sample some other Wisconsin innovation, you could have yourself a berry vice, a honey vice, one of them sunset wheats, one of them lakeside cherries. There's all sorts of great Leinenkugels you can have, including going across the border and having some of that Liney's original. We just love summer shandy season, and we're so happy that it's here. Here's the part that I have to read. Man, how about this? I've been on the show for 3 seconds, and you're putting me to work. Flavor life's simple moments with Leinenkugels, the official craft beer of the Chicago White Sox. Go to Liney.com/CHGO to find delivery options near you. That's LEINIE.com/CHGO, or pick up Leinenkugels pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Leinenkugels, flavor the moment, celebrate responsibly. The Jacob Leinenkugel Brewing Company, Chippewa Falls.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Vinnie Duber, for joining us. And make sure, diehards, you check out White Sox Weekly. That has been posted at allchgo.com. You can follow Vinnie at Vinnie Duber. Vinnie, Garrett Crochet is going to be the opening day starter. Your thoughts?
It's surprising because considering 24 hours ago we didn't even know if Garrett Crochet was going to be on this team, let alone the starting rotation, let alone the top of it. Now, as we have mentioned before, guys, the way that they stack up, especially at the matter very much, but eventually I'm going to.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, you just got absolutely cut out. You had some really good thoughts, and then I honestly thought like it just completely froze.
He was saying some good stuff too.
Yeah, he was. All right, well, real quick, we'll let Vinny reset. Yeah, you're still a little jagged.
You look like you're back a little bit,
All
but
right.
oh man, he had the everything that was he said there was right. We heard it perfectly, but you at home probably didn't hear it. He was explaining everything that you need to know, 401ks, and how to save more money, how to make more money, and then it just got cut off. Sorry, guys. We'll get Vinny back up there and so he can explain what this Garrett Crochet news means to everything, and it's just he's like the Wi-Fi is like I'm just surprised. I'm going out.
You're going on a limb right now. All right, let's talk about. Okay, I was going to go to Connor's comment about who are the last opening day Sox starters. This is surprising. We could try to include Vinny on this game, where I'll have you guys. I'll run through the opening day starters and tell you when to stop. But Vinny, how surprising is this? Let's try this again.
Yeah, it's surprising. There's no doubt about it. I mean, this is a guy who, when it comes to questions that we had throughout the spring that didn't get answered, the ones about Garrett Crochet were right at the top of my list, right? I mean, we heard even Jared and the folks down in Arizona asking Ethan Katz about this just a couple of days ago, and he didn't really give any sort of answer. So this is very surprising. They obviously have made their decision that Garrett Crochet is going to be a starter at the major league level and that they're going to try to make that work this year. One thing that did come to mind, this might be more schedule oriented than anything. Remember, Dylan Cease was on this team several days ago and was probably set up to be the guy who was pitching on March 28th. We commented that Garrett Crochet was pitching on the same day as some of the White Sox other starters. Maybe a little bit easier to move him into the Dylan Cease schedule than it was to move Eric Fetty off of his schedule or to move Chris Flexen off of his schedule. But certainly Garrett Crochet has earned a positive reward for what he's done this spring because he has been very, very impressive. The question for me is physical. Is he going to be able to do this from a physical standpoint? Because, listen, the guy's always been good, with the exception of some time last year when he was still getting over some injuries. But when he's been healthy, he's looked good. And I think, Sean, I heard you say it before we went to the ad break there, which was, it's not really a question of whether he can get major league hitters out. He can. It's a question for me of what does it look like the next day and the second day after that and 5 days later and 5 days later and 5 days later, and when we look up in May and June and July and August and September, what is he going to be feeling like? We're going to see, I'm sure, a plan to monitor how he's feeling by the White Sox. They might not reveal it to us because obviously they weren't too keen on revealing any Crochet related details during the last several weeks, but it's going to come down to not can Garrett Crochet compete at this level. It's going to come down to can Garrett Crochet, physically do this job. And guess what? We're going to find out.
Yeah, and Vinny, when you get this announcement about the opening day starter, I immediately say that, okay, he's never pitched close to what an opening day starter is supposed to pitch. So that also opens up, are the White Sox in the market for another starter out there? Because looking at us, like, I don't think he's going to get over 100 innings. And if you only have 100 innings out of that guy, you have to find those innings somewhere else. Is this more like they're going to find starter on the market, or do they have somebody at home that could be, kind of piggybacked with Garrett Crochet?
We'll see how they do it. I think you would want that plan to be in action by opening day, right? And so I guess as we sit here just a week and a half away, it sure seems like they're just going to say, all right, Garrett, go get him. But I don't think that it is part of a something to come. I could be proven wrong, but I mean, I don't think that this is like we're making Garrett Crochet the opening day starter because we have a free agent signing in the works. Like, I don't think that's what's happening here. That being said, when you talk about other arms that could help and could step in, think about the depth that they have that they didn't have a year ago. And the idea, I guess, being that there maybe is somewhat, I wouldn't use the word safety net because there's not a lot of certainty in that depth, but it does exist. And so I think if the idea was, hey, we're cool with trying out several guys, be it Nick Nastrini or any number of the other young guys who might be ready come the end of May, come, the trade deadline, come late in the season, I think they've got to have more confidence in the backup plan than the previous administration did at this time a year ago, because there basically was no backup plan other than Davis Martin, who then needed Tommy John surgery. So remember that Davis Martin will be back with the White Sox at some point during the summer. But I just think that there are a lot more options behind Garrett Crochet, and that has a lot less to do with Garrett Crochet. You could call those the options behind Michael Soroka. You could call those the options behind Chris Flexen. Just in general, they have a lot more starting pitching depth, just a ton more, really, than they did at any point, prior to the trade deadline last season.
We got 78 people watching. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. We'd appreciate it. It'd be very nice to maybe hit Garrett Crochet 45 likes. We're at 25. So if you could hit that like button, we'd really appreciate it. Let's play a quick game. It might be tough with Vinny being on tape delay, but we'll try it. Tell me when to stop. What starter, what opening day White Sox starter is more surprising than Garrett Crochet? 2023, Dylan Cease. 2022, Lucas Giolito. 2021, Lucas Giolito. 2020, Lucas Giolito. 2019, Carlos Rodon. 2018, James Shields. 2017, Jose Quintana. 2016, Chris Sale. 2015, Jeff Samardzija. 2014, Chris Sale. 2013, Chris Sale. 2012, John Danks. 2011 to 2008, some guy named Burley. 2007, Jose Contreras. Burley from 2006 to 2002. David Wells, 2001. Mike Soroka.
Yep.
Not Soroka. James Baldwin.
No.
Okay.
You're going to go forever. You're going to go to
Jamie
1901.
Navarro?
No.
Right, no. The idea here,
Alex
Sean,
Fernandez?
is that you could go forever because I think all of those people were expected to be on the team 2 weeks before the season started. You know what I mean? Like, even in a year when it's not, that guy ended up not being the ace of the staff, like, those guys were all free agent signings or veterans or guys who had been around for a while. This is someone who, at the beginning of spring training, they said, yeah, he wants to be a starter. We'll see how that goes. And now he's the opening day starter.
He said, I remember when you told me that Garrett Crochet wants to be a starter. And I said, what else would he say? Of course he wants to be a starter. Starters get paid more. And I'm like, there's no way he's going to be a starter. And man, boy, do I feel stupid. He wanted it. And apparently Michael Kopech could want the same thing. He could have 54 starts in his career. And that doesn't matter. You suck. Get to the bullpen.
I mean, listen, don't crush Garrett Crochet for this. He's been awesome in spring training. He has performed really, really well. I think probably beyond what anybody assumed that he was going to be able to do. And if the White Sox are seeing at or above their expectations in terms of how he's handled it physically from outing to outing, then there you go. This is what Pedro's been talking about, right? Competition, best man wins kind of situation. This is obviously very unique circumstances where the best pitcher on the team was traded a week and a half before the season starts. But, as goofy of a situation or an outcome as this might be with the headline Garrett Crochet opening day starter, don't knock him because he's done a very, very good job this spring, and he's probably done everything and more that they've asked of him.
Roy Patterson was the man who made the start in 1901, apparently on opening day for the White Sox. He made his debut in Major League Baseball and was the opening day starter for the 1901 White Sox. Roy Patterson of Stoddard, Wisconsin innovation. And he was 24, same as Garrett Crochet. So, hey, maybe we have another Roy Patterson on our hands.
Hey, while you're doing...
And he had, Herb, you can't step on this because you're going to enjoy it. He, and of course, Roy Patterson had a great tenure as the Springfield Trash Commissioner as well.
I don't remember that.
It's Simpsons. While you're there, can you look up his game log? What he did in that game?
Yeah, but I can. Real quick though, 2.75 ERA. I mean, that's right around Crochet's right now.
I mean, that's in the dead ball area. That's in the dead ball area though, too. But Vinny,
6 feet from Roy Patterson too. He wasn't a giant. His first game
back in 1901, he was the tallest person ever.
9 innings, 7 hits. 1 earned run, 2 walks, no strikeouts.
9 innings, baby. On your opening day, Garrett, you got a lot to live up to. But
he probably threw like 115 pitches.
As I always say, Vinny, like I don't actually mind the White Sox experimenting. That's what they should do because they have so much job security on this staff in particular, where doing things like Project Birmingham and this kind of makes sense. But as you are alluding to, the thing is he going to have enough stamina, not even in June and July, I'm talking about May. Like, he's never done this close to this at all. And, like, he barely started at University of Tennessee. So that's why I'm wondering about everything that's going on with this. But I'm with bated breath waiting for Pedro to get to a microphone after this ball game's over, if it already has ended, to see what he's got to say about that. And like I said before, we will have that full answer from Pedro Grifol tomorrow's show at 5 o'clock. But man, this is just surprising. And also it's kind of like, go ahead, White Sox, do it. And I just hope the young man has success. And if they do feel anything that he's injured or that he needs to be shut down at a certain time, do it. Be about that young man and his future, not just about the White Sox in the 2024 season.
Well, I think that's absolutely what's going to happen. I mean, listen, they would not be doing this if they thought there was a chance that it could go sideways right away, right? I mean, they're going to do this only because they're confident in what the outcome can be. They're only going to do what's best for the player and for the team, right? I mean, listen, we were talking about this when we were kind of doubting the possibility of Garrett having this role throughout the year and saying, is this the best thing for the team that you're going to throw a guy who could be a mainstay in your pitching staff out there and maybe things could go awry? But listen, they've thought about that. You don't think they've thought about that? Of course they have. So I think they are taking the opportunity to experiment. And I think more than anything, they're going to be watching way closer than any of we are in terms of what that physical situation is going to be with Garrett, because this is a guy who obviously spent time dealing with injuries just last year. So, they're not going to overwork him. They're not going to overtax him. I think the reporters down in Arizona, my colleagues asked Garrett today, are you going to be able to go 5 innings? And he was like, yeah, let's do it, kind of thing. And it's like, they're going to have a plan. If he hits 100, if he hits 80 pitches or whatever in 4 innings, they're not going to let him go further. Like, this is obviously going to be done with thought and done with care. It doesn't make it any less surprising, the outcome, but this is something that obviously they're going to keep an eye on at all points of the season. And maybe we will be asking questions about an innings limit or a, to use Rick Hahn's old talks about words about Michael Kopech, a creative way of using, Garrett Crochet this season. So we'll see. We're going to obviously need to hear more from not just Pedro, but Chris Getz as well, and figure out kind of what the plan is, because while we've got one big question answered, it only creates more, right?
I can't believe this. Oh, absolutely too. And hey, I have an expectation that maybe they would try to get him to 100 innings, but the White Sox also just might be the White Sox. They might just not do this correctly. And hey, maybe they'll just go until he feels something. Like, I don't know. I hope there is a plan, but all we have gotten is, Garrett's following the plan. It's like, okay, any details on the plan? What is he doing? Who is he going to be? I just would like any more details. But hey, maybe he just will throw 101 forever and we will never question anything. Because pitchers are normally very healthy and have zero issues and zero problems. Let's talk a little bit about the rotation. So Garrett Crochet will be number 1. He'll be the first starter. I don't know if he's the ace, but hey, whatever. Who cares? Fetty 2?
I would imagine.
Soroka 3, and I know that we've been talking about this, but it's basically more like, is Nick Nastrini making this team? I don't think he is. I think he's going to likely start in Charlotte. I understand that he's been impressive in spring training. I understand Drew Thorpe gave up 8 earned runs. I think it's likely that they sign a free agent. And I think that you're probably going to see Flexen, Soroka, Fetty, Crochet, plus free agent. Am I wrong? Because then that way, too, you don't have to rush the free agent to be ready for the first series. He'll be ready after the day off after opening day. He can go face Atlanta and get shelled, right? Like that's my thought process, because I think that's what people are really trying to figure out is Nick Nastrini actually going to get a shot? And so far, I mean, he hasn't been sent down to AAA.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nastrini will pitch for this team this year. I would be surprised if it's right out of the gate, just because he doesn't have much experience above the AA level. Go ahead and get him a little bit more, and then you can bring him up, right? That would be my thought. I don't know if they're going to sign a free agent, Sean. I mean, they might. They could. There's guys out there. But if you're just looking to eat innings, I mean, why can't it be Brad Keller? Why can't it be Jake Woodford? Why can't it be any combination thereof? And then, hey, start giving young guys shots earlier than you would think, right? So we'll see how it goes. But I think they've got those guys, those flyer guys that you could say, all right, go out there, give us 5, give us 6, and we'll see what happens. Touki Toussaint was not impressive last year, in my opinion. He was not impressive at all in spring by anyone's opinion. But, he can go out there and throw 5 innings, right? I mean, no matter how many runs he gives up, he's capable of doing that. Why can't he do it on this team right out of the box?
They just posted a video of his sneaker collection. That'd be brutal. Hey, Touki, can we come to your house and film your sneaker collection? Also, you're not making the team. Thanks so much.
Deuces.
But
the thing is, too, about Garrett Crochet making the opening day start, I was thinking that if he's in the rotation, you would put him somewhere in the middle, maybe 4 or 3 or 4, to break up all that right-handedness, because it's like the first time they've had a left-handed starter since, Rodon? Maybe Tanner Banks did a spot start one of these days, but just to break up all that.
Keuchel.
Keuchel, too. Yeah, I forgot about him. I've tried to erase it. But, just to break up all that right-handedness and the similar pitching styles that some of them might have. So that's another reason why I was like, wow, he's going to be the opening day guy. And then they go all righties for the rest of them. Okay, cool.
Man, Dallas Keuchel was on the 2022 White Sox. I absolutely blacked that out. I am glad to black that out. Ugh, that's brutal. Let's go into the diehard questions. We have a couple mailbag questions. One's from AJ, it's Baseball Kid, our pal, saying, who is your dark horse to rep the White Sox at the All-Star game this year? Thinking non-Luis Eloy Moncada. Real quick, I do think that Eloy could be a starting All-Star. I think he's also kind of in that Garrett Crochet thing where it's either he's going to be horrendous or he's going to hit 40 home runs like he said he is. Because that stance looks more athletic, more powerful. It seems like he's going to hit the ball in the air more, and that obviously is good for a guy that big and strong. So I think he's either going to just be the best DH in the American League, Giancarlo Stanton, or he's going to be horrendous like most of the White Sox.
I could see that. But my guy, Eric Fetty is the all-star of the White Sox just because his great stats last year as the KBO, and they say KBO's AA, AAA type of level. He was a 2 ERA, almost pitched like 200 innings last year. I think that guy will translate into the major leagues, just like his battery or his rotation mate, Eric Fetty. Chris Flexen came over from the KBO and pretty much pitched very well his first year coming out of the KBO. So I'll think Eric Fetty will be the White Sox dark horse all-star this year.
Well, before I saw the ban on Moncada and Eloy, I was going to say Moncada because I would think anyone who's not named Luis Robert Jr. would be considered the dark horse. But I'll go ahead and say, just to see if Sean actually falls out of his chair, I'll say Andrew Benintendi.
You don't believe that. I know you don't believe that.
No.
I know in my heart of hearts you don't believe that at all.
Here, I'll even walk you through the logic. You ready?
Maybe.
Is the catcher position, the second base position, the shortstop position, or the right field position going to give the White Sox an all-star in 2024?
I think that Nicky Lopez could, okay? I think if Nicky Lopez is hitting like 102 OPS plus and is playing fine defense, if the White Sox are horrendous and Luis Robert Jr. is maybe not having the best first half and you got Moncada and Eloy hurt, I think that Nicky Lopez could just be fine enough to get an all-star vote just because he's playing good enough defense.
And Andrew Benintendi could do that too with the good enough
defense.
with the good enough being in a different category, right? I mean, if the guy's walking a bunch, let's say he hits over 300 for 3 months, he can't be on the All-Star team for a bad team.
What?
So as he said, I agree with Vinny.
Okay. So I have this graphic that I did not give to Sarah. It's a picture of a strike zone, right? So there's 3 zones at the top. There's 3 zones in the middle. There's 3 zones at the bottom, okay? There's 9 total zones. Andrew Benintendi had 1 zone that had a positive run value. It was down and in. It was 4.4, negative 5.5, negative 3.4, negative 2.5, negative 5.4. That's right down the middle. Negative 5.4 pitches down the middle. Negative 4.4, negative 3.1, negative 2.8, negative 3.6. Is he taking steroids? Is he going to generate health to his wrist? Is he going to immaculately start driving the ball? Are they putting 2019 balls back in play? Like, he is going to need every single break for that to happen, okay? And I'm trying to not go into our next topic, which is who's going to be the biggest disappointment of the season. I think it's Benintendi. He's going to get paid $17 million. Hey, I think Moncada is going to be great. I think Eloy has the chance to be great. I think Robert Jr. has the chance to be great. If you're looking at the guys who are getting paid, Benintendi is going to be the biggest flop, and he's on the team for 3 more years. Yuck.
Hey, man, I don't disagree with you, but I can see what Vinny's saying. He's the leadoff guy. He's going to get the most at-bats this year, and if he's correct, his wrist and his hand were hurting him all last year. So I could see him having a better year than he did last year. Anybody could have a better year than he had last year, and if he's getting on at a 37, 38% clip and scoring a bunch of runs, yeah, he can be the guy. Like, I know there's better left fielders than him, every single person in the AL, but the White Sox are going to need to send a person to the All-Star game. Why not Andrew Benintendi?
He had his worst career of a season, and hopefully it's better than his worst career of the season. I could be wrong on that, absolutely.
And he's already been in an All-Star game, Sean. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, he has. 2022.
2?
No, just 1.
No, none with Boston?
Nope. He was second in Rookie of the Year, but no All-Star votes. Did you have anything else on Benny?
Well, not just to reiterate. I mean, like this. I'm not saying he's a dark horse MVP candidate or dark horse Silver Slugger. You've painted the picture of Nicky Lopez making the All-Star team as a league average hitter, and I think Andrew Benintendi has the capability to be a league average hitter.
Yeah, he has the capabilities more than Nicky Lopez. That's fair. That's fair. But like league average in left field isn't going to get it. I mean, you have like Yordan Alvarez who's standing out there that's hitting like 35 homers in the first half.
You need one guy. It's a team that nobody expects to win any games. You need one
if
guy.
He's hitting.
You're saying Yusuf Roberts not that guy.
Right.
Okay, I got you. No, if the team's horrendous, only getting one All-Star vote, he could be the most tolerable to the palate.
He's been there before.
All right, so real quick, let's just get through Ian's question. You may cover this, but who's going to be the breakout player this season? Who will be the disappointment? I got through mine and Andrew Benintendi. Breakout, I think it will be Eloy Jimenez. I didn't get to my All-Star. It's Michael Soroka. I mean, this guy, I think, is really just healthy. He looks good in spring training. He has shown before that he can get major league outs. He has shown that even when he's not fully healthy, he's able to get major league outs. If he's able to go 6 innings and he's got an ERA under 350, he might be that guy for the All-Star team that just gets added because he's the best of the bunch. So I think Soroka could be an All-Star and hopefully get some prospects for the Sox at the trade deadline.
My breakout, as you just spoke about, Nicky Lopez. Like, I think that the defense is going to play, and if he goes back to anything near his 2021 year, I believe it was, where he hit finally for some on base and some average, he'll be a guy that will break out this year. Maybe not make the All-Star team, but he'll be a guy that the White Sox look at as like, oh, that was a nice addition to the team because he solidified the second base spot. And then for my disappointment, it's not going to be Luis Robert Jr., but the expectations for Luis Robert Jr. are so sky high. 38 home runs last year. I guarantee everybody's looking for a 40 to 45 home run year. They're looking for more stolen bases. They're looking for a Gold Glove. I just think he's going to have a good year, and everybody's like, ugh, he didn't progress to the next level. Like, he hits 35 home runs. Everybody's like, ugh, Luis Roberts not that guy anymore, and he's still, like, he hits a 4 WAR instead of 5, and everybody's like, ugh. I guess that's disappointing type of season like that. Not that he's going to actually not perform on the field, just he performs on the field and it's not progressing to the next level.
Breakout, I'll pick a guy that I've been talking about for a while now. I'll say Jordan Leisure. This team doesn't have a closer, and though they might think about Michael Kopech in that spot, I think Jordan Leisure is the guy who's pitching hot right now. Relief pitching is about, kind of who's got the hottest hand, and this guy's young. This guy's a touted prospect. The strikeout numbers are good. Why not give him a go in the 9th inning? We'll see. I mean, guys, have to find out whether they have the stuff or not from a non-pitching standpoint, from an emotional standpoint to handle that role. Jordan Leisure might be that guy, and we'll see. I think he'll be a breakout guy in the bullpen. Disappointment's tough, but I just look at the moves that Chris Getz made this offseason, and I think of those 4 new starting spots that he addressed, I don't think you're going to get offense from all of them. You might get Nicky Lopez, hitting well or getting on base a little bit. You might get Paul DeYoung finding a little bit of pop, but I don't know about catcher. I don't know about right field. I think those, I don't even know if you can call them disappointments because I think the expectations are pretty low offensively at all 4 of those spots right now. But I don't think there are going to be too many surprises from that group of 4 starters, or if you even want to combine Maldonado and Stassi behind the plate. I think that the offense is going to be tough to find from all 4 of those positions.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun team to watch. Connor Smith in the chat's mentioning that Ricky Horton, the 1988 opening day starter, after pitching 60 games in relief the previous season, that one is as nearly as bizarre as Crochet, only started 9 games in 88 for the Sox. And whoever Ricky Horton is, pitched 109 10-inning complete game in his second start of 1988, because 1988 was still, I think, the dead ball era, right?
Might as well be.
I think so. Anyways, that is Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. That's Herb Lawrence, our CHGO White Sox community leader. You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. We are 6 likes away from Garrett Crochet's number. So if you can give us 6 likes, whoever's out there and haven't liked the video, we'd appreciate just those 6 more likes. It'd be very nice. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show at CHGO_White Sox. And thank you to Sarah. I don't think we gave you a shout out today.
Hi.
Hello. Bye. See you later. Au revoir.
We all silly like the mayor.